Hi everybody and welcome again to this series. In today's video we're gonna start working on the opportunities by customer section. Basically we're gonna start adding the controls and applying some look and feel. So let's dive into it. Okay, so first of all let's look at our application to see how it's gonna look. So let's preview our application. So the first thing we're gonna look is that when I don't select any customer, we're gonna see that this message is gonna appear. Please select a customer to show its opportunities. Okay. And if I select another customer, let's say I'm gonna select this ABC Telecom customer, and this particular customer don't have any opportunity. So in that case, I'm gonna receive this message, right? There are no opportunities registered for ABC Telecom. Okay. Now let's look at other customer. Let's say I'm gonna look at the Run Enterprises customer. If I click here, what we're gonna see is that this customer has some opportunities. Actually, it has 7 opportunities, right? And we see all the information about those opportunities. If I, for example, filter by status, you can see that I can filter by the different status and see the number of opportunities, for example, and I can also filter by stage. So you can see that there is only one opportunity active and in the 80% stage. Okay, so that's what we are going to replicate in our application. So let's start building the user interface of this particular section. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add an icon. Let me look at there is a rectangle basically. Okay, so let's add that rectangle, which is going to be the header of the opportunities by customer section. So we're going to resize this rectangle. Then let's look at the field property to change that value with this one. Let me paste this. Okay, now the color is better for that rectangle. Then we need to add some icons. So before doing that, let me add a label, which is going to be the title of the header for this section. So I'm going to add the text opportunities by customer, no? Okay, and let me resize this and let's apply some customizations. So it's gonna be centered, the size is gonna be 18. Let's change the font also. We can change the value for LBL UI, which is, remember, is the control that we use in our template to apply some changes to the look and feel. And the font size, we can resize that to, let's say, 24. Now we can change the color. So the color here could be, also we can reuse some of the existing controls. So let's use LBL title dot color. Okay, and let's start adding the controls, basically the icons that we're gonna use in the header, right? So for example, if we want to add an additional opportunity, we can use that control. We can reuse some of the existing controls. Let me copy and paste those one because they're similar for this section. And now let's change the properties of these 3 icons at the same time. So for example, we can change the color, so the color should be white. Just let me copy this here. Okay, and we can also resize those icons. So let's put 35 width and 35 height. Okay, now we have the 3 main controls to add, order, and refresh the values from the opportunities section. And let's add an additional icon. This one will be to open a different screen to see all the opportunities. We are gonna change that We're gonna use that icon before later. Okay, let's change the values for this, the width and height also, and the color, as you can see. Okay, it looks good, the header. Now let's start adding some buttons. These buttons are gonna be the ones that are gonna help us to filter the opportunities by status. Okay, so let's change the value, the text for this first control to be all. So when I click on that button, we basically are gonna show all the opportunities. Okay, we can resize this. So let's put the value of 93 for width and 39 for height. And we can copy this button. Before doing that, let me put a name to this button. It's important to put a name on each of the controls. So this is gonna be btn all. Now let's copy this button. Let's paste it. We're gonna do that for each of the status. Remember that we have 3 status for the opportunities. So now we can change the text, right? So this is gonna be active. We have on hold and cancelled. We can basically center these icons. Now it's important to change the field, so it's easier to recognize the status of the status that each button represents. So also let's don't forget to change the name of each of the buttons. So in this case, for example, it's gonna be btn on hold, and this one is gonna be btn cancelled. Cool. Now let's continue changing the color of these buttons. We change the color in the field property, right? So the active is gonna be green, on hold yellow, and cancel is gonna be red. Also, let's copy this control, the HTML control. Let's reuse that. We're gonna check that later, but let's reuse the controls because it already has some look and feel. So, and here instead of customer, let's put in the number of opportunities, right? So let's replace this by opportunities. We are gonna change this value later because it depends on the gallery that we are gonna insert. Also, let's reuse some of the controls here. In this case, we are gonna reuse this label and this drop down because we're gonna use that to use the basically the sales stage, to filter by sales stage. So here let's change the label to a stage. Also, it's important to change the name of the control. This is gonna be LBL stage. For the drop down, we are gonna change also the name. It's gonna be DWN stage. And in this case, the drop down, we are gonna change the value. Let's use here a connection to our SharePoint site. Okay, in this case we're gonna use the opportunity stage list, which is gonna show me basically all the possible sales stages for the opportunity. Actually, we can see here we have all the different stages, and we have a column for the order. Let's go back to our application. So we have this connection to the opportunity stage list, right? So instead of regions, let's change that with opportunity stage, which is our list. Cool. Let's preview to see how it looks now. So we see all the list of stages, but we want to order by a different field, right? So here is ordered by title. We are gonna change that to order by the field order. Remember, this is the field name that we're gonna use. Okay, great. Now when we preview, we see here the list now is ordered by the field order, right? Now let's add our gallery. This is a blank gallery, and this gallery is the one that we're gonna use to show the opportunities filtered by customer. And let's add another data source. In this case, we're gonna use a SharePoint data source that is gonna have all the list of opportunities. So let's connect to our opportunities list, right? Let's click on connect. Great. Now we see that we have this opportunities data source, and we can connect our gallery with the opportunities data source. If we look at the opportunities list, we're gonna see that this opportunities list is gonna have different fields that we're gonna use in our opportunities gallery. Okay guys, that was all for this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video with your friends. In our next video, we're gonna continue this time customizing the opportunities gallery. So we're gonna add some controls and we're gonna apply some look and feel to those gallery. So see you in the next video. Bye.